This is weird. This is Jim Jordan's take on, and this is, by the way, this is on Donald Trump Jr.'s site. Remember the last Don Jr. video we saw that had like 1,400 views and it had like, well, how many rumbles? Had like 79 rumbles, 80 rumbles. This is him. He posts a clip from Fox News of Jim Jordan, and it's killing his own clips. People would rather watch clips of Jim Jordan on Fox than watch any original content from Don Jr.
Wow, guys, check this out.
Wow,
Jim
guys. Wow, guys.
Jordan goes full.
Whoa. Rep Jim Jordan goes off on Liz Cheney. My reaction. Same stack of shit. Books haven't changed. Nothing. Still hasn't done any of that work. Whatever that is, it's still bullshit. Just saying.
Full scorched earth on Liz.
Guys, you would not believe he attacks another Republican. It's a beautiful thing, guys. Guys, I got a pink shirt. I'm golfing while I sit here.
Cheney last night on Laura Ingraham. This is a clip you gotta watch, and he's 100% right. You can't have a GOP conference chair.
You can't have a GOP conference. Honest to God, man, who grows a beard and makes their chin smaller and speaks more often and their speaking voice sounds more toddlerish? Is there something in what he snorts? Because he's not nasally. It's a constricted larynx.
Yeah, a Republican person in leadership. That's
oh boy, a Republican guy. Oh, you know who's not a Republican person in leadership? You or your dad.
literally mimicking the talking.
Guys, anybody got a guys? Do you have a rolled up 20?
Points. You saw today, Nancy Pelosi gave a glowing review of Liz Cheney. So, in essence,
She actually called her Lynn Cheney. So
Liz Cheney is a Nancy Pelosi Republican, right? We've heard of Reagan Republicans. Liz Cheney's a Nancy Pelosi Republican. Not where you want to be in the Republican Party. Check out what Jim Jordan does to her. It's ugly, and you're gonna.
Dude, what are you looking at? He keeps doing this business again. Guys, they sent me a clip.
I want to watch it.
You can't have the Republican conference chair reciting Democrat talking points, especially when gas prices are up 50%. There's a crisis on the border, and Democrats.
Gas prices aren't up 50%. There's a pipeline shut down from a ransomware hack. That's not the result of trade policy by the federal government.
Democrats are trying to federalize election law and pack the United States Supreme Court. That is not helpful. That is the concern. And that's why 3 months ago, there were a number of us who wanted to make a change. That change, in fact, will happen tomorrow, Laura. And I think that's a good thing for our party. You want our party spokesperson to be in tune with more than a single-digit percentage of the party.
Yeah, only a single-digit percentage of the Republican Party thinks that Biden is president.
Some percent of the party disagree with Congresswoman Cheney. There needs to be a change. And again, I think that's going to happen tomorrow, and I think it'll be a strong vote.
Now, how is anything she's saying different from any garden variety left-wing pundit on him?
Well, she's saying she believes in politics founded in conservative ideals. That would be the main reason. Because the left-wing pundits didn't vote with Trump 93% of the time. They didn't support 93% of what Trump said. They just wouldn't go along with the stolen election narrative. That's how.
On MSNBC. I mean, they're literally citing.
Excuse me. Have you not gotten the edict from Hannity? It's MSDNC.
Her every morning on MSNBC and talk about her plight and how courageous she is. Like, if Republicans are getting praised by that crowd, isn't that kind of an obvious?
Yes.
Well, that's
no, they're not praising her policies. They aren't. No one is going, P.S. her ideas on taxation or on gun rights are completely in line with, I wish she would run as a Democrat. I can't wait to vote for her. It has 100% to do with the election. That's it. She's being dropped because she won't support the big lie. These guys, I mean, Jordan's admitting that there are no Republicans left in the party, less than a single digit worth of them percentage-wise that believe that Biden is president. She's a terrible person, right? I'm not for any of her policies. All the support she's getting is because she's standing up for her principles at the very least, and she's trying to operate within the confines of a functioning democracy, which is not something that Jim Jordan wants to do.
That's not the person you want leading.
And by the way, there's no way you will convince me that there's not a young wrestler just out of frame below him tugging on his tie.
Leading the party?
No, and this is not new. This happened on January 13th when the Democrats went with their impeachment. I was the guy charged with managing our time on the Republican side, and all we heard was Steny Hoyer and other Democrats reciting statements that Congresswoman Cheney had made. But it goes back even
about the election, asshole. That's exactly right. She's with you on everything else.
Further, how about the Russian bounty story last summer, which we all knew was bogus? But what did
No, you didn't know it was bogus. We still don't know it was bogus. They just don't have enough intel to make it sure enough to warrant a strike or warrant sanctions. They don't have enough concrete evidence for a federal government response. It's dirty intel. Sometimes you live with that. When you're at war, you roll with dirty intel. But when you're not actively in war and it would lead to an escalation or create a war, you don't. Honest to God, how are these people allegedly adults running government?
What did Liz do? She tweeted out against the president that very day. Why not just pick up the phone, call the White House and ask them, is there any truth to this story? They would have been glad to tell her, happy to tell her that there was nothing to it. And we now know.
Yeah, but they didn't know.
There was nothing to it.
No, that we don't know that there was nothing to it. There was just not enough actionable intelligence for us to launch missiles against Russia or shoot their soldiers. There's kind of a threshold for that. That doesn't mean it isn't true. It just means we can't lock it in. The same way people who are on trial for murder get off on a technicality. They are, and they're not innocent. No one is found innocent in a court of law. You are guilty or not guilty. And it is within a reasonable doubt. So just because you were found guilty or not guilty does not mean that you didn't do it. It's just they didn't have sufficient evidence to warrant putting you in a 6 by 8 foot gray cell for the rest of your life.
To it. So this has been a pattern. And I think, frankly, now there's just enough of our conference who've said, we got to make a change, and it's going to happen tomorrow morning.
Not bad, guys. This is why we need.
Guys, this is so good. Guys, I mean, the dude got, by the way, high as a fucking kite. Can you do one video without being blasted out of your brain on coke? Don, is it possible? Have a green drink. Do something. Run around the block. What is happening? I mean, I understand. In his family and in his environment, there is no impetus to not be blazed out on coke all day long. I'm sure it's considered a norm. But Christ almighty.
We need more Republicans fighting this way. We need more Republicans willing to step up and to speak up.
What are you talking about? Fighting what way? He went on Laura Ingram's show to get his ass kissed. There's no fight. He voted with a bunch of people. She was outnumbered. That's why she lost the vote. It wasn't like 6 of them held the floor. It's not like Jim Jordan filibustered his own conference to get rid of Liz Cheney. What fighting are you talking about? None of it exists. This is a cartoon.
If MSNBC, if CNN are hailing you as a Republican hero, there's a really, really good chance you ain't a Republican. And Liz...
They're not doing it on policy. Oh, my God. Just imagine that. Every time I freeze frame him, the thought, I pity Kimberly Guilfoyle goes through my head. And then I start rolling it again, and I go, well, you make your bed, you're going to lie in it.
And Liz Cheney, she ain't a Republican. At least not the way...
Dude, yes, she is. She's more of a Republican than you are. She's so much more of a Republican that I probably share less of her policy ideas than I do with you. How do you like that? I mean, if you have any. I don't know that you're an actual thinking person as far as political philosophy. I think it's just, my dad should run shit, guys, and that's it.
Not the way the Republican Party is today. She's the old rhino Republican, never-ending war Republican. We don't want that. We want an America First Republican for a change, just like Donald Trump. Thanks, Jim. Great work.
Do we want him? Because I think he got voted out by a lot. Thanks, Jim. Great job, guys. So good.
Work.
Oh, God. Again, where is the fight in going on places that only, like, support everything? This is like going on Newsmax. Everybody on Newsmax is constantly like, I gotta say, I agree with everything you said, and I'll add this. That's because you only bring on people who agree. They don't even invite people on. Newsmax, you know how they go, we asked so-and-so to come on, but they wouldn't comment, or they didn't want to be on camera. Newsmax doesn't invite people on who go against their narrative. It's absurd.